temperature gauge here says 45. I think it's supposed to be 10 degrees colder in New Hampshire. So Rich picked a good day to sleep in, and I picked a bad day to head up for a solo ride. Maybe not a bad day. We'll see. This was a Monday, Columbus Day. I had the place to myself. It was freezing cold. It's cold. I'm here by myself. I did a 5-mile run a couple days ago and tweaked my groin because I'm an old guy. Both my trucks got destroyed by trees. All right, enough of the excuses. My goodness, we already know it's not going to be great. Rich slept in today, smart man. He had important business to take care of. And I got started the usual tentative, slow, cold, not really sure that I ever knew how to ride a dirt bike. But a decent warm-up loop, and my goal for today was to do a long ride, longish ride, and do at least one loop where I was pushing hard and trying to really make progress over last time out, which is a little risky when you're riding alone, but it's pretty exciting. Coming up here, our traditional rest point, just after the first few minutes of riding. Usually an opportunity to warm up your hands. I gotta say, the first stop when the blood starts going back into your hands it's really painful. It's unpleasant. And when your hands are cold, they don't work. But once you get that out of the way, things slowly return to normal, and then you're good for the rest of the day. It was absolutely deserted this morning. I heard no bikes. I saw no bikes before I left the parking lot. There were a bunch when I got back 3 hours later. But the only thing I saw out on the trails today was wildlife. Starting right just up here, I think. Check the slow-mo. Way down the trail, just up there, you can see it. Oh, there's a little whitetail going across. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. 3 deer. Getting started here. Quick check over my shoulder. Make sure nobody's following me. And then off we go on to the river loop. Whooped right at the beginning always caused me to ride off into the bushes because I don't really know what I'm doing. And if I remember right, there's a kind of a low branch here, so if you get a little enthusiastic, that would clean you right out. I don't mean, I mean, it would knock you off your bike. Coming up here is that hill where I've gone right, I've gone left. Right is that huge root. This time I go left. Look at me. Just a better line. Not too long into the ride, I realized I had some kind of rear brake adjustment issue, so I had to make a little pit stop here. I'm a little distracted by my brake pedal, of all things. It's a little low. Well, that turned out to be even more Keystone Cops than I expected. Got the brake adjusted, we'll see how that is. Then my shoulder pad fell out. The shoulder pad falling off thing is a recurring issue. I have this kind of convoluted system to... God, what am I doing here? Why do I go to the left? You know that doesn't work. What am I doing? I bet you it doesn't work again. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, go. And yeah, doesn't work. Never works. Don't go that way. Anyway, the chest protector is held together with a glued together sink stopper. It's complicated. And periodically it just falls out and lands on the trail. I have to put it back in. Christmas is coming though, you know. Maybe Santa will bring me a new Liat 6.5 HD Pro chest protector. Just putting that out there. As you can probably see, the morning is not getting off to a silky smooth start. We got the mechanical, we got some herky-jerky riding here. Things will improve, I promise. Look, I said things would improve. I didn't say they would improve quickly. The brake adjust I did was totally screwed up, so I had to do it again. Good news, I brought all the tools that I needed. I brought the tools I needed for the adjustment that I made that was adjusting the wrong thing, and I had the tools for adjusting the right thing. The first adjustment I made was to the height of the brake pedal, but I also needed to adjust the plunger, so I did that second time around. Finally, it's working. This stupid blowdown here, I don't know why I always slow down for that. Next time I'm going to rock it right over that. Probably wipe out. Once I got a little bit warmed up, the speed was coming up. Again, it's what I usually try to do. Keep the gas open a little bit longer, accelerate a little bit harder, and don't coast as much. Either be on the gas or on the brakes. This little hill here was a good early indicator that that was probably going to work out as I get going here. I was actually pretty successful at looking further down the trail, which is the key for me to opening the gas sooner. And if you look right in front of the front wheel, you see things that convince you that you just can't accelerate yet. If you look way down the trail, you see like a straight or the end of the turn, and you think, all right, I'm going to get some speed. I can accelerate. This strategy seemed to work. Just kind of attacking the trail and getting the gas open, using the front brake a lot. It was fun. It felt good. A lesser man would have a breakdown over something silly like that. But here, a good example of looking up the trail allows me to, if you hear the engine, I'm getting on it, at least for me, and looking ahead. See that route right there, and this rock after it? Since I was looking ahead, I was able to jump over it instead of hitting it like this right here, right over. That's a major improvement for me. Listening back, I'm trying to gauge, how much difference the extra effort makes. It's like carrying the acceleration for another 500 or 600 RPM, maybe. Opening the throttle like another like 5%, maybe 10%. But on the trail, man, it feels a lot faster. Yeah, I think I toggled back to not looking ahead for a second there and immediately go right off the trail. This part, always exciting. There's actually a pretty big hit at the bottom of that before you make the climb. But I'm glad I figured all this out, all these roots and stuff you can fly right over, and like right here, right at this tree on the left, boom, jump right over that stuff. That feels good. This is the creepy ESP part of the ride. If you look way into the distance in the center of the screen, you can see something moving back and forth. Somehow I saw this, or this caught my eye as I was riding. I knew there was something over there. I what was it? So I actually stopped. I was convinced I saw something. Sure enough, it's a little doe right there.
Oh, maybe I saw you. That's okay. Go ahead. That's all right. Off you go. Yeah, nice and easy. Good girl.
That concludes the David Attenborough section of the video. Now on to the impossible climb. Up to the left here to have a look and psych ourselves up once again. It does look so simple because what you can't see is that V right there tries to tuck your front. But it turns out somebody cut that giant root. So now it's actually really easy.
I can't do that.
Sometimes on these short little ups, I get a little out of position and get the throttle not quite exactly right, and then bang, right up at RENTH. So as you can see, there were a few opportunities during the day for a meltdown, but mostly avoided. Here coming out of the stream bed, no problem. I noticed I did it sitting down. I should do that standing up. I suppose it's not terrible sitting down, but standing up is better. There's a spot right here that requires some commitment. All these rocks kind of bunched up in awkward places. And okay, don't fall down the embankment. You can hear I'm frustrated because I wanted to get over the bridge and didn't. Ended up taking that line to the right. Not terrible. It goes worse next time around, but that section when it really starts to get technical, always tough. It smooths out a little bit, and then here it is, the big step up, and I barely make that one. This is easily the most technical part of the loop. It is really genuinely tight. The rocks are genuinely large. And interestingly, with all the leaves down, I found it a lot harder to figure out where the trail is. I'll give you a little moment's hesitation at just the wrong time. Like this rock face right here, it's actually pretty tough. It doesn't look like much on the video, but it's a challenge. And now I'm lost again. I'll probably take the wrong... Is it over there? Oh, yeah, I see a blaze, that green thing. Let's see. Where are we going? Easy to think, remain calm now, but man, when you're out there and putting out a lot of effort and actually trying to do things on time, as quickly as possible, and that's a steep drop off right there. It is so frustrating to make the wrong decision or get hung up on some rock. I didn't lose my mind this time, though. I think I still had a mental breakdown hangover from my last trip out. This is the infamous double step up that caught me last time. Let's see how I do. Up and yeah, whoa! Almost.
That's the second double tap I've heard. It might be time to get going.
I think that was a bird hunter, and man, I think they were close, really close. Second time around on the river loop. This time I'm pushing hard. I'm going to go for time, see what happens. So the pace, I mean, just to explain a little bit more, it means that in a normal scenario where I might take an extra second just to look or go at a medium speed, I'm going to just charge up. So like on this soft hill, soft sand hill coming up here, it's going to bend to the right here. I just gas it and go. And much to my surprise, I go through smoothly and nothing happens, and I go faster than normal. It's good. Line choice is essential when you're trying to make time. It's just so important. I took the right line through here this time. You can see it's a lot smoother. I mean, also I'm just warmed up, so that helps. But that's just critical. The wrong line, I mean, even on a good day, it's just going to cost you a ton of time. One of the big challenges for me still, because I'm a very slow learner, I think, is obstacles like this right here, this little log. To someone who's been riding just in the dirt all the time, that presents like no challenge. You just fly right over it. That's why you have 11 inches of travel. But for my background, riding on the street and road racing, I always think that like that's going to catapult me into the woods. I'm slowly learning that you can just hit that stuff or even jump over it and just fly. That's much better and more fun. Alright, this part should be terrifying. I'm out into the open section that leads into the whoops, and I'm going as fast as I think I can go without hurting myself. Let's see what happens. Okay, actually, not bad. Kept the gas open and timed it just about right. This little hill here, see if I can carry the momentum up. Yeah, alright, not bad. That's probably like a second and a half faster than normal. It feels like I'm flying. Looking at my notes, apparently the next minute or so here is good, fast, smooth riding. So apparently this is what it should look like in my mind's eye. Let's see what we got. I'm guessing that for most guys this would be like Sunday ride pace, you know, like nice and easy, fast, but not hard. For me though, this was, I mean, I felt like I was doing about 90% of what I could possibly do. You can hear in those exhaust notes that I'm hitting the gas harder, and you know, the motor sounds a little angrier. Then transition here to a downhill where I'm just trying to carry more momentum, just not slow down as much, and improve speed that way. There are a few obstacles coming up here that put a real emphasis on what I was talking about. I was just kind of going for it and hitting the gas. Like here, just power over it. You see, I did almost eat my triple clamp there. That's not great, but I kept the momentum going. And then there is a short, sharp hill, 2 sort of steps coming up here that, if you don't hit them fast enough, you can get hung up. Here is one. Right, so I'm going to shoot over that, carry it over this slick stone here. Then it bends to the left, and there's another one right here. See these rocks? You just shoot over that. And you see I got a little air, cleared the stuff on the other side. That's, to me, that's a quantum change where I'm flying over stuff with momentum on the gas, using the power of the bike to get the suspension in the right phase to clear that stuff without eating every single bump. I got a hard time figuring out this one. I don't know how I end up losing like half a minute over something that it's a third the size of all the things I just rode over. Yeah, room for improvement. Back into this little more flowing section, and you can hear I'm getting more onto the pipe just a little bit, just exploring that territory, getting used to it. That's where I should be. That's where I want to be. Entertaining for me, as old as I am, is that I ride through a section like that, get on the pipe, go fast, and literally then I'm like, ooh, that was great. I'm going to take a little break here. I gotta say, this is a lot more fun for me to watch than the parts where I'm hung up, swearing, and on the verge of tears. I don't know if you find the same, but it's almost like hypnotic. I'm like, yeah, that's good. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. There were many close calls, especially at this pace and my skill level. There's one coming up here. I just narrowly miss a tree on the left. Just a real quick snap of the bars right there. Potential disaster. When you hit that thing, well, I hit that thing, and I'm going down. So now that somebody has come through and chopped out the offensive route from the impossible little tiny hill climb here, it's not so impossible. I take the low line and just ride right up. Now it's easy and boring. It's funny how life works. So I made it over that really easily because now it's easy, but coming up here I always go to the right between those 2 big trees, follow the path, but this time I'm going to take it left over the tree trunk, see what happens. There we go. A little more aggressive, a little more energy into the ride. Good results. to the stream crossing here, and I've been generally happy with this on this lap. I'm pushing hard. It appears like maybe I was actually standing up that time through. That's good. But I am getting tired. Like, pushing at this rate does require a big effort from me, a conscious effort physically to put more into the ride. So I think it was right about here where, you know, like one of the wheels came off, figuratively speaking. Not at all bad through here. I think in the sections coming up I start to kind of drop the ball. So what does it look like when you drop the ball? Well, when you start to drop the ball, you see the front end start to bounce around a little bit more. You'll see I put a foot down here and there, get a little sloppy. I'm in the seat, riding over these bumps and rocks, and I'm just like whipped. I think this winter will be the winter of the upper body. Sit-ups, push-ups, planks. It's going to be great. In my defense, I will say that if there's a part of this ride where you just don't really want to carry too much speed, I think it's here, because the drop-off on the right is significant and the trees are like close. There is not a big margin for error here, and man, I would not want to go tumbling down that hill. I know they say that some people just watch NASCAR for the crashes, and if those people are watching, this is the part of the video they're looking for. This is the beginning of Meltdown Alley. This is when it does get really tough. See what I mean? I can hear my muttering there under my breath, and if you look forward, I have done this 100 times, and there's that big black rut right there. That's where I don't want to go. I never want to go there. And that's exactly where I go. Again. I won't learn. I refuse to learn. I'm not a quitter. I will never quit going the wrong way. Look at this huge adventure I'm going on here. Oh, it's like whatever time I might have gained over the last 30 minutes of trying as hard as I can.
Oh, maybe that was a kicker.
I just threw away by going exactly where I know I should never go.
Hold that thing right here. All that work.
I believe I said earlier in the video that line choice is critically important. That's a great example of what I'm talking about. Really, what is that, a minute and a half or something? That's easily all the time that I gained all through that whole loop by pushing hard. Such a painful lesson to learn. To my credit, I did not have a meltdown. I think I was probably just too tired, and I had the energy to, boom, get up and over that. Not real pretty, but I did make it. So I'm kind of keeping my concentration as much as I can. I'm still plowing along, keeping my eye on the ultimate goal, which is just a decent time through this section. And then I get to this. I don't know if you remember, but on the first loop, that was like real easy. I think I just like lied down. So hard to watch. I can tell you, as you're riding along, you realize that it doesn't make sense. The cognitive dissonance, you know, like I fell over on that other thing 2 minutes ago, and then this, I'm right up and over. This is much harder than that. That thing back there was like 14 inches tall. Of course, I did get lost lost. I don't know. I mean, it's like, this is like getting lost on the way to the mailbox. I don't get it.
Again. For the narrowest line known.
Keep in mind as I'm going through all this that the goal here is kind of to do like a semi-race-paced loop, and so in my mind, when I'm getting hung up on all this stuff, I'm like losing places, and it's just it only adds to the frustration. You know, I should probably be more realistic and realize that in all the races I've been in, I finished last anyway. So when I get hung up on this stuff, I'm just sinking my trail time to my race position. I'm just keeping my date with destiny in last place. I don't know, maybe that'll make me feel better. Here's the double step up. Let's see, do I make it? Do I make it? Come on, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. That's good. Ooh-wee. All right, finally to the end of the river loop, and I don't know, I think it was 38 minutes. I'd love to do it faster than that. That was a big effort.
Fucking Christ.
After that big effort, I hit the camelback for about 55 minutes. Drank all I could. Got onto a little transfer section here where I completely screwed up all of these whoops. I'm gonna say I was tired. I bet I veer off to the right here. I always do. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Right on cue. I was intent on doing the BT loop, and in fact, I did the BT loop for a total of 30-something miles on the day. I've pared the BT loop down just to the really fun parts, the technical and challenging stuff. It's still probably a little too long, but that's okay. It's COVID. We have time. I don't know if that came through on the video. It almost came through my helmet. This is the first climb on the way to the BT loop. This one is tough. These are some big rocks. I just threw all I had at it and jumped over everything that I could. Surprised myself, actually. I did all right. When I got to the top, I realized that there's a really easy line over to the right. Maybe I should take that one day. What do you think? Interestingly, this is the one part of Clough where there are two really tricky rock garden climbs back to back. So this climb follows actually directly on that first one. And, you know, maybe it's slightly easier. I was a little more tired having done the first one. So I'm happy with getting through here clean as well. Another bumpy little climb here. This one predominantly rocks and predominantly breaking my balls. Doesn't look like I'm doing too badly. I can't believe I'm surprised. As tired as I was, although I think at the top here, did I screw this up? Oh yeah, so I aim right for the narrowest spot and jam my bike right in it and stop.
Not gonna make that. That's almost like a depth perception thing. That was weird.
I I actually watched this one back and I realized that there was a really good line maybe 10 inches to the right of where I went. Hey, let me show you what I mean. Check out that big rock. If I had just ridden onto that rock, it's smooth as can be straight up.
I wonder where that went.
Well, that wraps up a very successful day for me out on the trails. It was definitely lonely and probably a lot more dangerous because there was no one there to drag me out when I knocked myself out cold on a tree or something. Also, it just wasn't crowded at all. There were a bunch of people when I got back to the parking lot, but no one on the trails when I was out there. All in all, it's farewell to Clough, I think, till the spring. They're doing logging, so we may have to find a new winter riding spot. Keep posted for that, of course. For now, guys, stay safe, enjoy the fall weather, and we'll see you soon.